Hey there and welcome. We use them every single day, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about what a web browser is actually doing? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on this tool we all take for granted. We're going to break down exactly how it brings the entire internet to your screen. So let's dive in.
To really wrap our heads around this, I want you to think about something. Have you ever had that feeling of being completely and totally lost in translation? Because that feeling, that's the perfect way to understand all the magic that's happening behind the scenes every time you go online.
All right, picture this. You're on the vacation of a lifetime, somewhere totally new and exciting. You walk into a little local restaurant, you open the menu, and you can't understand a single word. You don't know how to ask for what you want. You're stuck. Okay, so what do? You find a local translator. You just tell them in plain English what you feel like eating. They nod, turn to the kitchen, and speak the local language perfectly. They sort it all out and get the staff to pull out all the raw ingredients for your meal. But here's the key part. The translator doesn't just stop there. They don't just dump a pile of raw vegetables and spices on your table, right? No way. They take all those ingredients and they assemble them into a beautiful, perfectly cooked meal and serve it right to you. And this is where it all clicks. Your web browser, it is that translator. It takes your simple request, it talks to the internet's kitchens, gets all the raw code, and then it assembles it all into the websites you see and use every single day. Okay, so now that we have that translator idea in our heads, let's get into the specifics. What does this translation job actually look like? What's really going on in that split second after you type in a web address and hit enter? It really just comes down to four main steps every single time. First, it gets your request. That's you typing in the address. Second, it finds the server. That's our digital restaurant. Third, it receives the files. Those are the raw ingredients, the code. And finally, step 4, it cooks the meal. It renders that code into the finished web page you see. So what are these ingredients we're talking about? Well, pretty much every website you've ever visited is built with three main things. First, you've got HTML, which is the basic structure. It's basically the skeleton. Then you have CSS, which adds all the design and style, kind of like the clothes and appearance. And finally, you have JavaScript. That's the brains and the actions that make a website interactive. And all of that leads to this really important word, rendering. This is like the magic trick, right? It's the actual process where the browser takes those three ingredients, the skeleton, the clothes, and the brains, and assembles them all into the complete, visual, interactive web page that you see on your screen. All right, theory's one thing, but let's make this super practical. Let's look at something we've all done a million times, a little online shopping. So you're on your favorite website, you find that perfect thing, and you hit that big Add to Cart button. Seems simple enough, right? But in that one instant, your browser is doing some serious work behind the scenes. And this is where JavaScript really shines. Your click is an instruction. It tells the browser to run a specific bit of JavaScript code. That code updates your shopping cart's info, and then, and this is the cool part, the browser instantly redraws or re-renders just that one tiny part of the page. That little number on the cart icon just ticks up. The whole page doesn't have to reload. It's all super, super efficient. Because we use browsers all day, every day, a few common mix-ups tend to pop up. So let's do a quick rapid-fire round and clear up some of the most common points of confusion. First one, and this is a biggie. Your browser is not the internet. Think of it this way. The internet is the giant global system of highways connecting everything. Your browser? Well, that's just the car you use to drive on those highways. Okay, next up. Your browser is not a search engine. Think about it. Google or Bing or whatever you use, that's a website. It's a place you go to, a destination. Your browser, like Chrome or Firefox, is the application that gets you there or to any other website in the world. And this one is super important to get right. Websites don't live in your browser. The browser is just a window looking out at the web. All the website's actual files, the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, they're stored permanently on a big, powerful computer out there somewhere called a server. Your browser just asks for a temporary copy to show you. All right, so after clearing the air on all that, let's pull it all together and talk about the big takeaway here. What you should remember about this powerful window to the web that you use every day. So when you boil it all down, what does your browser really do for you?
Well, it's the software that lets you open websites. It takes an address you give it, finds the right server out on the internet, gets the raw code files, and, the crucial last step, it renders all that code into the visual, interactive pages we use literally every single moment we're online.
So look, if you walk away with just one thing from all this, make it this sentence. A web browser is a smart translator that turns website code from servers into the visual pages you see and interact with. It's really the ultimate bridge between our world and the digital one. So next time you open a new tab, just think about it for a second. You're using one of the most powerful translation tools ever invented. It's the tool that literally builds our digital world, piece by piece, right in front of our eyes. So now that you know how the magic trick works, what are you going to go out and build with it?